Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline, and today we're going to discuss changes in the fabled Northwest Passage. The Northwest Passage was a fabled route that they tried to find that would pass through this region up here as kind of a shortcut instead of having to go around. The reason they had trouble finding it is this area was quite iced up. Now, there have been a lot of changes to this region. Most of these have been discussed by others. Russia being right on the border of Alaska here. Alaska being a lot larger. That's one of my personal ones. I don't know if other people have covered it, but Alaska is huge now. California used to be the largest state, and now Alaska kicks butt. Alaska is way bigger than like it's as big as like 3, 4, 5 states now or more, United States. So it is way bigger, way bigger. Okay, now Hudson Bay, way back, I remember Hudson Bay being kind of at the top of Canada as an actual bay where you would come in and there would be a bay there. But Hudson has been sinking down, sinking down. This appendage thing on the bottom here, I watched that grow about 2 years ago. More recently, this belly area here has really expanded. And up here has changed a lot. Well, we'll get back to that. Okay, other changes. Let me make this a little larger here. All right, I've already discussed that California is getting a lot smaller. That's my state, so I do notice these things. I think it's still shrinking. It was about 2/3 of the western seaboard of the United States, and now it's only a little bit over a half now, so it's still shrinking. This appendage here has gotten a lot longer. Florida has gotten a lot shorter. Cuba has gotten a lot bigger, and it's much more inland. Of course, the South America dragging over to the right has closed off the Gulf of Mexico quite a bit. There's also a lot of new islands in here that I've never even heard of. A lot of them got supposedly devastated by the hurricane. It's kind of interesting when something you never even heard of suddenly shows up, but it's supposed to have been devastated by something. I should also add that a lot of the far northern California region is new to me, and it showed up right around the time the really bad forest fires in that region. I don't really recognize the top third of California anymore, almost none of those cities. I used to live what I thought was close to the top of California, and now it is not the top anymore, let's just say. I remember Sacramento as being in the middle of California. For a while, it was way up at the top. Now it's slowly going back down towards the middle again, so that's been a trip. Another thing that I would like to add is that Canada, when I first started watching this map about 2 years ago, was depicted as all white except for a little green strip down near the bottom here, and now it is green through the majority of it with only a little white here. And also Greenland is starting to get some brown. It used to be all white. There's a lot of brown up in here. Also, this whole region here, this is new. I think it was the Elizabeth Islands or something like that. That was just a couple dots before, just a couple speckles of island, and now there's a huge kind of giant island thing up there. That one's a trip. That is all so new. That showed up about maybe a year ago. Also, this whole area here keeps changing, and one thing I really see right now that I haven't seen before is there's a kind of a straight shot from Baffin Bay all the way through over here. Very interesting. That was not like that before. But the thing that brings me to this video is a couple days ago I was looking at the map, just kind of checking it out, and I saw this Northwest Passages. Now, no. That was not. I have been watching this map for 2 years. There was no Northwest Passages. Now, this is the first map that you will run into if you type into Google Canada map. And there was no Northwest Passages. Now, a lot of the maps show Northwest Passages there. What the heck is that even, Northwest Passages? So they're calling this stuff around here Northwest. I don't even know why it's down here, to be honest, but they're calling this region the Northwest Passages. Okay, in my timeline, the Northwest Passage was a fabled route that they attempted to find to get through this region. And the reason that they had trouble was because it was all full of ice. And in my timeline, they never found a way through, really, because it was full of ice. And there were rumors that, oh, because of global warming, we might be able to get through the Northwest and have a true Northwest Passage. But we didn't have it. And then after the shifts around, well, I found out around 2016, at that time, the ice melting was so extensive up here that they actually were saying at that time that this North Pole was open waters and just floating sea ice in the summer. Now, the current timeline now is not saying that. They've kind of backtracked a little bit, and they're calling it semi-permanent ice at the North Pole right now, but they're still saying, of course, that it's melting. So the amount of ice that's there and the amount of melting is constantly changing. But anyway, so they're now calling this the Northwest Passages. So what's going on? First of all, I've never heard of Northwest Passages. It was a fabled route through. They were looking for one route, any route. They thought they found maybe one route after we had satellites and we could see all the land masses and stuff. But we could never get through because of the ice. But it was one route that they were trying to get. Well, now apparently they found a route through in 1906. The first vessel to transit the Northwest Passage with a crew of 6. And here is the actual boat that they were supposed to I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Gua, something like that. There's the actual ship. We have photos of everything in this timeline because photography, I guess, went much further back. Apparently they have preserved the ship and they still have it. Or something, or is it a replica? I'm not sure, but there's images, modern images of the ship. Okay, so they got through, and there have been multiple routes that they've gotten through way back in the day now. I guess there's just less ice in this timeline, and we don't have the North Pole ice cap anymore. We don't have the landmass North Pole ice cap. I should be specific on that. Anyway, so here's the two of the main routes. Some locations are saying up to 5 to 7 routes have been navigated in this timeline. And these are kind of the two main. So you got Canada right here, and this beast over here is Alaska. And that's the bay there, the Hudson Bay right here. So that's the state of Northwest Passages. I think this one must be constantly changing. I know I've seen a couple versions, but what kind of got me is they were also talking about this Northeast Passage. I've never heard of a Northeast Passage. And this here is the Northeast Passage. It goes up over Europe and down around the side. And then this red line is the alternate route, which is obviously longer. So they're trying to take this shortcut through this northern region. Now, the North Pole is right here. And in my timeline, that would have been a continental land mass full of ice. So I think you probably couldn't have gotten through there back then. We had more ice. We had more land. I never heard of a Northeast Passage. But they do use this passage now. So that's interesting. This is the Northeast Passage here. This is the long way around here. You can see the North Pole. They're still showing ice there, but you can see the ice. You can kind of skirt around it now in certain seasons. So for a while, like I said, supposedly this ice was melted in the summertime, but now it's not. I don't know what it's going to do in the future. Seems like we can't decide. Okay, there's one other route that I just thought I would mention. The transpolar route. It's not in existence yet, but they're talking about it. So they're saying that, if the ice melts more, then we'll be able to cut straight across the Arctic Ocean where the North Pole is. Rapidly shrinking Arctic sea ice is poised to open the region to many more kinds of ocean-going vessels than it has been at any point in modern human history. So they're getting all ready for this trans-Arctic route. And here's a close-up of it. So this route through here would have been the Northwest Passage. I mean, there are routes through here, but they're not really feasible at this time, according to current timeline. That's why you don't see routes through there, because these are supposed to be the fastest routes. So the red is the fastest routes for ships that have sea busting capability, and the blue are the fastest routes for ships that don't have sea busting capability. So you can see that they're taking this northeast passage. That's what this one is right now. This is 2006 to 2015. So they're taking northeast passage, not northwest passage. This is the route that they're predicting for 2040 to 59, is that the northwest passage will open up to more route, to more traffic. The northeast passage and will continue to be used, and that there'll be a shortcut straight through the North Pole. Who knows if that'll happen, but I think it's interesting. They're already talking about it, and it's not even here yet. So anyways, constant changes in the Northwest Passage. Quite a few changes from my old timeline. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.